Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me is Ben.
Hey. What?
Yeah.
We did it. It's here. It's fucking here. The content that's for me. It's Star Wars Visions Volume 2.
It's all for Ben.
Oh, most of it was for Ben. Most of it. None of it was bad. But, you know. Okay. Okay.
Also, none of these hit like super hard for me. There was none that I was like over the heels for. So my general like feeling on this season is much lower than season 1.
Yeah, it's because the lightsabers weren't as prominent. I feel you.
No, because it was too many. The plot of this story is that this kid is shit.
Yeah, I did.
These stories, you know, the thing about anime is it skews towards teens more, and this like showed in the sense of like other countries' animation studios skewing more towards younger kids. And so even like when they're like trying to be edgy, they're like thematically they're like much simpler stories, I would say.
Yeah, the way I was
there's just too many of them. It's like it's just like, oh, this kid is shit.
The way I was thinking about it was, you're not wrong. I gravitated more to like the subject matter. In particular, I was like, man, all the like Volume 1, which was, you know, all Japanese studios, right? It was all Japanese.
I think it was all
in
Japanese
Japanese.
studios.
And
hilariously, if you get like the dual audio tracks for this season were also English and Japanese, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh, they had I guess if it's Japanese, I don't know. What did you listen in?
English. I listened in English.
That's what it.
I wish I could
be,
listen
right?
in like the specific language each one was made in.
Dude, I was checking.
Like, I wish I could listen to the Indian one in Indian, or whatever.
Yeah. I also was hopeful about that.
Yeah. And I do think that some of the English voice acting, not my favorite.
Yeah, there was
some
weird bots.
There's the one that's made by the like the Korean one, the one that's made by the studio that made like Voltron, and stuff. That one I was just like, this boy is like, we do not know how to cast teenage boys in fucking animation. Yeah. What the fuck?
No, I feel when she's
just
like
incorrect.
When she's like, "You're a kid," he's like, "I'm not a kid." I'm like, "Well, clearly." I liked her voice though. Like,
it was specifically he was clearly miscast.
Yeah. Like, he had a good voice, but not the right voice for that role or that character.
Yeah.
The theme thing, I
don't know. I'm sure eventually like versions will be out there for getting some of these in the correct language, but they weren't available.
I didn't even get the dual audio. So.
I didn't either. Dual audio I saw pop up later.
Okay.
But also I'm like, fucking why?
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, it's like fine, but so Volume 1 was like super into lightsabers.
I watched Aardman shorts in the original Japanese.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, as it was intended to be watched.
Yeah.
No, Volume 1 was like super into lightsabers, right? Like, that shit was like, lightsaber is critical. That's the most important part. This one, it felt like not all of them, but it felt like there was definitely more of a theme of like, I mean, they literally in the pit, I think it's episode 8, they literally say like, follow the light, and I'm like, that's like the theme of this is like, be yourself and follow yourself and know yourself and like do the right thing and blah blah blah. And I think that just...
Or follow this Sith Lord and leave with them, leave your family behind.
Dude,
for them.
what was the best one for you? Was it episode 2?
Oh,
Was it
what was
Screecher's
my
Reach?
favorite one? No, Spy Dancer was my favorite.
Okay, that makes sense.
6.
That's an acceptable answer. Yeah, I don't know if I like Spy Dancer more. My 3 were Sith, Screecher's Reach, and Spy Dancer. We're all like up there.
That
Screecher's
first
Reach.
one.
Yeah. It just looked so fucking good, and it was such a cool little, like, force sensitive artist was appealing to me. We got
There's
that
a lot of like
fucking-
painting theming in this.
There was a lot of painting theme in this. We got painting and we got kids.
Yeah. It just felt more broad, I would say.
Oh, totally. But yeah, there were a lot of kids.
There were a
And I
lot of
even-
kids who
I
were
even-
shit.
I even
Just
made a
terrible.
note.
Just,
Didn't-
oh!
Like for In the Stars, I was like, I watched this twice. For anyone coming in, I watched this and then I went back and watched it all again. I was fucking ready.
Sure. I like just finished watching them.
Yeah. In the Stars is the one I had a note. What did I write here? Not a huge fan of small stupid child does objectively bad thing that happens to turn out okay.
Yeah, that's like half of these at least.
Yeah. Like, it's not super great.
No, it's like that one. Like, I just hate that kid so much. But the TIE fighter looks unfucking real good.
In the Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the stuff of the Empire just looks so good,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't like the story.
Did they die at the end? That
No.
was the only thing I saw. I did briefly check some discourse online. And that was the only thing I saw that was like not unique, but like I went back and checked, and I get like technically I could see it being open if someone really wanted to interpret it that way. Cuz someone was like, you see I forget the big sister's name. You see her arm reaching up. She's not breaking the water yet. She's clearly very much underwater. It fades to white. They do the thing that's all calm and peaceful, and they put their hands on the rock. They look at their mom's star, and then 2 other little stars appear next to the mom's star. And I'm like, I can see it. I don't know if that's what I think, but like, I can see it. That's interpretable. Or just,
That's stupid.
or just
If you're reading it that way, I don't.
Oh, the other take was that, like, they were the last 2 people, and then they
Like-
died out, and then their people were dead. So, like, they beat the Empire, but, like, it's fucking over.
I mean, it's true that the setup there is like, kind of like, yeah, you're fighting back, but it's already too late. Like, your people are all dead. That's not going to change.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't think they thought about it that hard, though.
That's not the. I find that more acceptable because the take I read before that was the one that I'm like, all right, I've read enough about this. Was someone with episode 2, Screecher's Reach, the cartoon saloon episode. For those who don't know, they did Secret of Kells, Song of the Sea, and Wolfwalkers. And the person said, "I love this because it's left ambiguous. Like, was this person a Sith? Were they a Jedi?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
So ambiguous.
She killed a person and shows up and she got yellow eyes and like red shit. Like, what? What do you mean ambiguous?
There's nothing ambiguous
I'm
there.
fucking lost
Holy
my
shit.
mind. I'm like, what franchise have you been? Is this your first Star Wars content? Did you skip right to that episode? Like,
This shit is not subtle.
it was not subtle at all. It was cool. I like the idea of like we see a lot of angry, ugly, shitty Sith. We don't see a lot of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like I guess gentle. you know, like a that vibe, right? Like the elegant, catch
Sith
more.
style.
Yeah, and like, because you know, like she's not being like angry. She's not. You know, we got the light coming out because kind of the savior situation, getting her out of the shitty situation, but like, definitely still a fucking Sith. Oh, that was just funny as hell to me.
Sure.
What was your least favorite one? Which one flopped the hardest?
Uh, the Indian one, because that style of CG animation I just fucking hate.
Yeah, I can see
The
that.
bandits of
Golok.
Golok.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that one I just don't like how it looks.
Yeah. No, that's understandable.
So that's like, and it's that same story again.
Just a kid doing shit.
Just a kid being shit.
The problem is,
If it's like a kid doing stuff, that's fine. It's that these kids were like exceptionally shitty. They were like extra annoying.
It's a trope that I find difficult to handle often because, like, I don't know about In the Stars, but certainly in the Bandits of Golok, like, I feel I was smart, like, roughly gauging their ages. Like, I feel like I was smart enough to know when I shouldn't do something that would, like, put my fucking life in danger, you know? Like, I wouldn't actively be like, oh, I'm going to force grab this fucking flute. Yeah. Like, I don't, like, that shit bugs me. That's like a 3-year-old. That's like a 3 or 4-year-old or something, like, just not understanding anything. But if you're like 8, 10, 11, 12, like, whatever the hell, I just was personally never that dumb. So watching a dumb child like that, I'm like, this is it's difficult.
And like because the stakes are not like, oh, you're gonna get yelled at. The stakes are you're going to be murdered.
You're gonna fucking die. I did for most of these. I shouldn't say even for most of these. For In the Stars.
Like I would say of the ones that do that trope, the last one, Ao's song,
easily.
like that one did it the best.
Easily.
Because she was correct. Like a lot of these kids were objectively wrong.
No,
it wasn't
totally.
the thing of like the kid, like the overprotective parent is just worried, but the kid's right. Like a lot of these kids were just idiots.
Yeah. I softened up a little bit on my second watch, I guess. I had immersed myself fully. So on the second watch, I did write like first watch, I was just and then I'm like, after the second one, I'm like, fine, fuck it. I feel hopeful, whatever. I got enough into it.
Nope, not me.
I haven't lost my soul yet, though, so I'm working with a little bit more.
Yeah. No,
I did. The
my
other
heart is black.
The other thing that bugged me in the Stars was it was such a small change, and maybe it wasn't meant to be this way, but it felt like, and this was kind of a theme for a lot of these, I felt like there were more instances where like the characters could have just shut the fuck up, and instead they don't. Like there was a lot of like, oh, we have a character here, and instead of just showing them, we're gonna have them talk. Or like, in particular, In the Stars, they did a whole drawn out sequence, the little chalk whatever Stardust drawing thing.
Yeah.
Well, she explained every single part of it, and I'm like, I'm watching it happen. You could have said like, my mom, and then just drawn it. I didn't need it all laid out. But then I realized it's not even necessarily that. It just feels it's because it felt like it was in the middle, and because it felt like she was talking to her sister. I'm like, this is fucking dumb. I think if it had been at the beginning, like that exposition wouldn't have felt so bad. But
yeah, the way they frame it with her literally explaining it to the person who definitely knows all this already.
Yeah, and that was
just.
And I think that's the worst example of like people. There was a lot of moments of people talking when they didn't need to for various reasons. Like some of it felt like they were just filling silence.
Sure. Yeah, that's And that's like some of that is part of the voice acting thing that bothers me. In particular, like I was thinking about it in Journey to Darkhead, just which is the only one of these I see that has like a cast on the Wikipedia page is the only one currently I think that has casting for the Korean voice actors
Sure.
in addition to the English voice actors. I think all the other ones just show the English ones right here. Um, because there are lines that feel like they were not. This was not conceived in English. Like they're just like speaking way too fast for the amount of information they're conveying.
Mm.
Like it just felt off. Um, some of the stuff, like some the Sith guy was saying, like he was just, it just didn't.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
like,
when he's like popping off.
it didn't scan right.
The incident from, or the instance from that I was like, this feels really like plopped in, was when uh Toll yeah, Toll was looking out the window or whatever when the Sith acolytes or whoever are passing by, and then it zooms out and we see the Sith dude standing like looking at him from a huge distance.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Sith dude speaks, but it's literally just like, I see you, or I have found you, or it's like just fucking completely like, I see who it is. Like,
yeah.
are we, you're either doing this for babies or you're doing it for people who are over the age of like 4 or 3.
Yeah.
Like, it's super unnecessary.
And a lot of this felt like it was skewing younger too. So
yeah, with all the kids.
Although but it was weird because like sometimes it will go harder in terms of like the Empire being fucking terrible, or, like bad things happening to people. Like they didn't let up on that stuff, but then the ultimate like story or like the theming of stuff just felt like way younger in a way that like the balance didn't feel correct to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Imagine being
like you have this you're like telling a story about a shit kid who just wants fucking to play her flute and to the extent of her life and like eat lollipops everywhere, and then the dude gets his throat cut open.
Yeah, man. Oh, that fight was so good.
It's just like, I mean, I don't love that fight just because I didn't like any of the animation.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I thought the fight was good 'cause I didn't mind the animation.
Like I thought like having this old lady turn her cane into 2 lightsabers, like that's fun in theory.
The fact that it's 2
I just
is
didn't
what
like how it was.
the fact that it was 2 is what sent me. I feel like many other people would have either done like it's a sheath and you get 1 lightsaber, or like the curved part is the 1 lightsaber, but she got the curved Dooku lightsaber and the fucking normal. It was cool.
Yeah. But that's what like season 1 of Visions was all about, right? Is going extra. So
that was my only.
That's kind of the only one, like that, and the first one with the yellow lightsaber that then the red lightsaber comes out the bottom of. That's kind of the only like going extra that's in this season.
That was so cool. It was so dumb, but it was so. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm fucking here for.
Yeah, but we really didn't get that much of it this season.
Dude, there was a lack of lightsabers. And there were 2 instances where I think they just it almost, no, 3 instances, 2 instances where it feels like they actively were like, it should be a lightsaber here, but everybody does a lightsaber, so we're not going to do it. In the Stars, she had a staff that just had like the lightsaber fucking shit, like it sheathed and unsheathed and it was deflecting bolts and stuff, and I'm like, just give her the fucking lightsaber. If you're gonna do like the stat, like just make it a lightsaber, like full on. And then kind of less of an argument, but that was like my only tiny minuscule nitpick with Spy Dancer. I was like, she's deflecting blaster bolts with her wrist blade. Just make it a fucking lightsaber blade. Come on, just do it.
They didn't do it.
They didn't fucking do it. Oh, and then the sort of half third instance that I was debating about there, My least favorite episode for this was the pit,
Sure.
and I got it didn't affect, like, it's not like this thing didn't happen and now it's my least favorite, but I did get absolutely baited. When that dude gave a little sliver of a kyber crystal to that girl, I'm like, oh, she's gonna build a lightsaber, and she didn't. It hit really that episode hit.
Well,
really hard.
that one's implied that she's gonna build one of the.
Yeah,
later,
at the
right?
end, yeah, sure. Oh, she's not. She's gonna use the force on a fucking train and then get killed.
True.
No, I just found that one. The message was super strong. Like, it fucking got me, on the first time, because I mean, like, obviously, I think if you're a decent person and that doesn't get to you, somewhat, given the state of the world, like, that's a little fucked.
Yeah, that one just it lacked characters. Like, it lacked specifics to make me.
Yes,
It was so.
It was
Just the story. Like, it didn't get into like these being people.
so.
It was just this idea.
For me, that's kind of in theme, I suppose. On my first watch through, I was like, or in between watch throughs, I was like, this is it too, like, heavy handed with the message? And then I realized, I was thinking, I was mulling all this shit over as I was watching. I'm like, it's not the message. To me, it felt like there was nothing else. That's all we got was the message. Everything else, you have your message, but there's action. There's other shit happening. This was literally just all in the message, which was kind of.
There weren't a lot of strong
man,
characters
those
that were well drawn.
stormtroopers
There were some.
Those stormtroopers didn't die. There were no explosions.
It's true.
Like, it was great message, obviously, but yeah, it was kind of a nothing episode past that.
Yeah.
I think my
Whereas, like, Spy Dancer had a lot of specific. Like, I felt like those
Spy
two women, like,
Dancer
were
fucking good.
fully drawn characters. We had like personal investment and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it was just a better executed short. It was just a better story.
That one got me. I didn't think that.
And also the like animation style was unique in a way that I
fucking-
liked.
The fucking dance was so good, and I was so sold.
Yeah.
And then when she comes back and it turned, like, she has like the flame aesthetic, and she's like just golden orange. Oh my fucking god, I was losing my mind. Like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a toss up between the flame portion of her dance and the fucking Banshee in Screecher's Reach for favorite moments from this volume.
Sure.
Oh, and for Spy Dancer, I thought that it got me. It surprised me. I thought they were gonna do like she tries to kill this dude and then she gets caught, but no. We get the thing that it's like her son. We build that up. The extra little gut punch that I didn't think about until the second time through was like just how impactful it is. Like, they didn't just fucking steal him. Like, they fucking took out his eye and cut off his horns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just, I don't know, man. It's fucking it's just like an extra thing that, like, fuck. Like, you start thinking about it, it's like, god damn.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I honestly think you kind of need the physical disfiguration for like it to be believable for me that she could even reach him.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah, man. That was such a good fucking episode. That droid got pulled in half. I think his head
did.
buzzsawed off. That's great shit.
Yeah.
Screecher's Reach is like, man, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, I'm like, Secret of Kells, like Song of the Sea, okay. And that fucking Banshee just went so hard. Like, it went unbelievably ham.
It did go pretty ham. And I like that, like, afterwards, the rock fell on her and you could see her as like a person.
who then gets
She was just this
fucking
person
killed.
living in this cave. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, it was unexpected and it was fucking great.
Sure. I don't know. Again, none of these sent me the way some of the ones from season 1 sent me.
I think
There was no old droid.
there was no. I'm trying to think if any points like they didn't reach the highs. I would say
Yeah.
I don't.
And the lows
Yeah.
were lower, I also think.
I would agree. Yeah. I mean, I've been you know, I've been watching that one episode, The Village from Volume 1, just on a fucking loop.
Sure.
I've watched it like
Which isn't
20
even one
times.
of my favorites from that season.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I mean, I also went back and watched. I mean, I rewatched the whole thing.
Like, I think it's good. It's just like there are other ones that hit me more. I think that's more of a testament to how good that season is.
Yeah. I mean, I rewatched the whole of Volume 1 in anticipation of this. And
Yeah.
definitely the twins hit me harder on the second time.
God, that one is so.
It's
That one
like-
just goes so hard.
I was so pleased with it. I mean, obviously I liked it the first time, but then the second time I was like, this is fucking way better than I remember. Like, I remember being not as hyped for it as some of the other shit, and I was like, this is fucking good. Yeah.
It's the conjoined Star Destroyers. It's so dumb.
Fucking, like, they're just like breathing in space and talk, just like all this
Like the-
dumb fucking cool shit. It is just perfect.
Yeah. Like
that's
what
Star
fucking
Wars, dude.
cool, just random cool Star Wars thing was like in the that one ship in the Aardman short having like its laser be a little Death Star. That was funny, but like there wasn't enough of that.
Yeah, they're all pretty grim in different ways, I guess.
Well, they just weren't that creative. I feel like
With
They
the
didn't
plot and stuff.
go with the plot and just like the kind of Star Wars technology they were like where they were taking it. Like what
Sure.
they didn't feel like they were pushing on stuff
Yeah, I could agree to that.
the way some of the stuff in the first season felt like.
Yeah. I had oh yeah, for the Aardman short. I can't believe they fucking got Dennis Lawson back to do Wedge. They fucking bring him back like, okay, we want you to do Wedge for this short, but you're mostly going to be peddling your merchandise as a fucking has-been pilot. Oh, it's so fucking good. I liked that one. I was a big fan. I wasn't sure because I've not watched much of their stuff. So
Not a huge Wallace and Gromit fan.
it's not even that I'm not a fan. I just haven't watched. It never.
Sure.
I remember seeing like commercials and shit on various VHS tapes as a kid or whatever. But I never like came across the VHS to just watch it.
Yeah.
So it never.
I would say I'm disappointed just because like I don't think this hit the sweet spot of what I actually really like about Aardman's sense of humor. This was way more normal. It felt like
they
instead
do a
of like
little
kind
more-
of this was kind of that like I don't know dry British wit or whatever. Like this was more and this was so action oriented. Like it was so stuff happening. There wasn't as much room for comedy really. What with it mostly being about a shitty teen and then action.
Yeah.
Like there just wasn't that much room for good jokes.
Yeah.
So that's what I was kind of disappointed by, because that's kind of what I was expecting.
No, the greatest joke that episode pulled was on the entire Star Wars fandom, based on how people have categorized the first season of Visions on Wikipedia and various places, trying to fucking we gotta place this in the canon timeline as best we can and blah blah blah. We're gonna do it. The Aardman short has addressed a issue of debate in the community, and that is we now have underwear, just normal ass underwear in Star Wars. People are gonna lose their fucking mind, because I've already lost their mind about this a couple of times.
Because there was a bra in Star Wars,
and on the clothesline there was like normal underpants. Like, you don't even fucking know, okay? We're not talking about thin skin. We're not talking about loincloths. Like, it's good. I'm telling you, the Maul Installation subreddit is going to lose their fucking mind.
This is the easiest one to place in the timeline, at least.
Yeah.
You know when this one has to take place.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's a freebie.
Austin's Jabba showed up in the first season, I think. The one with Jabba and Boba Fett.
Yeah, the I forget the title, but the singing one, yeah. The band.
Yeah. I think those are the only two that are like
people fucking
you
place
have
all
to
of them.
place. Oh, I'm sure. But they're also full of shit.
Yeah, no. Just straight garbage. I think the one that people had the most trouble placing was Ronin, like the Kurosawa one.
Weird.
Just because like all of it was so fucking off the wall, like as far as the lightsaber shit goes.
Oh yeah, and Twins wasn't.
Oh yeah, Twins. Well, no, Twins is fine. That's easy. Someone looked at the. Someone fucking.
You could just pop kyber crystals like fucking AA batteries.
Actually, in Twins, if you look at the 17-16-33 mark, you will notice a specific window on the front left side of the right Star Destroyer, and that was only in these models produced by the First Order after this point in time. No, I don't know. Fucking people do it.
Sure.
Yeah, I just thought that I saw that and was like, oh no. The arguments. This brazier is too strong. It's good shit.
Mm-hmm.
I also really like the Ows song. That one was...
Yeah.
It was nice.
That was a good one to end on.
It was super detailed. Like, there were ants. There was, like, little bugs. Like, just in the background constantly. Like, there was just so many little things moving.
Yeah, the animation on her hair was really good.
Oh, yeah. I like the premise. Like, we get the little text and it's talking about, like, I like the idea that... I think in canon a lot of people were pissy when they changed kyber crystals to be like, oh, the Sith have to bleed them because like it's too edgy. But like, that's also kind of cool, you know, from like a kid's perspective. That whole deal. But the idea of like, oh, the Sith corrupted all of the kyber crystals and they're still chilling there. You can get them, but like they're fucked. I think that was kind of neat. And then obviously like her singing and following her voice was just fun.
It was funny getting like the nice kyber mining town right after the pit. It was like,
yeah,
that stood out to me. But mostly I was like, oh, okay, at least you got at least one of these shorts about a kid being dumb, like did it correctly, and like the kid
adults,
was like,
were the adults not a shitbag, but
yeah, where the adult was wrong.
Yeah,
the adult.
Wrong.
It was the adult's fear and overprotectiveness that was the problem, not the kid. The kid was fine.
Yeah,
the kid's instincts were good. Like that's how you're supposed to do those stories. And I don't understand how so many of these shorts got that wrong. The kids were just morons.
Yeah. I feel like they wanted to lean too far into like the. At least I mean I keep thinking about Into the Stars. Like they wanted to lean into the hope aspect and like following your light and that sort of thing, but like they went about it wrong. I don't know. They got too lost in the sauce. They're like, the kid needs to be like full of hope and ready to take on the world. Like, let's do it. Like, nope. It's not how that works. I was super pleased that Screecher's Reach saw Dahl go to the dark side. We didn't. We got that a little bit in Volume 1, if you recall. I forget what the episode title is, but it's basically the Anakin story, right? That dude.
Yeah, the guy who has the visions.
Yeah, and he wants to protect the princess. And the only interesting thing that one did is it was like, what if Anakin actually saved Padme and she was alive? And then he went to the dark side, which is cool, but like, it was a bit not on the nose, but like it hit too many of the same beats. I like this one because first off, it's a kid, but also
the thing I like is that it's exactly what the Jedi do.
Yeah, it's the same shit, right?
It's the same exact story.
Yeah. No.
I just find that very funny.
No, that's like, it's great shit. And we see it in like, at least in Ao's song. I think that's the only other one, right? And Bandits of Galak.
Yeah,
I guess not as on the nose, but yeah, and they're like,
but it's the same thing of leaving your family behind.
You're special. Leave everything you know and love, and come walk the path that you're destined for. And then it's the same thing except on the other side. Like, that's just very good.
Yeah.
Man,
from my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
God, the little,
but for real though.
Yeah, it's weird. None of these shorts had a Jedi like just taking babies. At least in this one, like the kids had some semblance.
All
of
these
agency.
kids are too old.
They're all
These kids are all older than Anakin.
The Sith one doesn't matter. She's fine. Sith don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If anything, it's better.
Yeah.
The other thing that this did, that Screecher's Reach did, that was pure coincidence, is it hits some of the same notes that the Star Wars comic I read as a kid that was in the library did. It was about like, I've mentioned like it's the one that just it's in the middle of shit, so I had no idea what the buildup was. It was just like fucking Jedi with their ancient sword-looking lightsabers fighting Sith. And then this random dude, Darth Bane, is like lighting up a fucking force bomb, and he meets this small child who is like there by happenstance, and she's like the only one who's unaffected. This would be his apprentice who became Darth Zana. And he meets her, and she's just like this girl, like probably 8, something like that. He's like, whatever the fuck, like, oh, you survived, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like chill about it. He's not like, oh, you're so angry, you're so blah, blah, blah. Like, he's talking to her like sweet talking a kid into believing your bullshit. And like, she goes with him, and she makes similar choices to what Dahl did in the short. And that lineup, I was like, yeah, this is good. Except Zana didn't leave her friends behind. I think she killed her brother. But, you know, like, tomato, tomato.
Yeah. I don't know. I also feel like that idea would hit harder if, like, there were more. Like, I want more of that story. I feel like the short doesn't give me quite enough.
Oh, you want the 90 to 120 minute film just like I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and that's like a thing that like I do think, like I'm just gonna go back to Twins again. Like,
yeah,
that it uses its length like, okay, we've only got this much time. We're just gonna go as hard as we possibly fucking can and
Yeah.
burn it all out. Whereas, like, some of these are like structured like normal things, and thus you don't get they don't go far enough. Like, not enough happens, even though they're like all plot and action. Like, because they're not like going 11.
Yeah.
I don't get enough out of them for them to be memorable enough for to be a thing that'll stick with me.
Yeah. No.
There's not enough meat on the bone or
And
whatever.
I think overall, this is just from watching both things recently. I think the episodes in this season were shorter on average.
Okay,
Because
that makes sense too.
even like it's not by much, but I noticed like in the first season it seemed like we had more stuff that was like 17 to 22 or 23 minutes, and in here it was like 13 to 16 with like a couple exceptions.
Yeah.
Like even those couple of minutes when you're in a 15-minute thing,
that's a lot.
But also, no, I don't think Cartoon Saloon was ever going to go ham on anything. That slow roll.
Sure.
But yeah, that's easily the one. Like, if I was going to get more of this, definitely that one. I guess I could go for more of like Journey to the Dark Head, depending on how that dynamic shifts. Just because like that girl is cool.
That girl was cool.
I love that they had the.
I think I would, and I just think I would like that guy more if I was listening to it in Korean or Japanese or something else, something that's not English, where he sounds like a 35-year-old man.
Yeah. Yep. Oh shit! What was I gonna? Oh, I love that they had the balls to show the Jedi Council, and it was just completely like nobody even remotely recognizable. God bless.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. Place that, fuckers. It was in space. The Jedi Council was in space. Did you notice the windows? Ugh. Completely out of canon. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, I kind of don't care about that.
I just happened to notice like in the
Yeah,
background.
it's fun.
It's a thing that struck me because I happened to see all of the placement shit for the first season after watching it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Which
what are
is
you doing?
madness.
You're ruining it. Why? Nobody asked for this.
Because they can't stop. They
They
have a problem.
literally cannot stop.
They cannot stop.
Absolutely not.
I don't know.
Did I have any other like specific notes? Not really. Oh, in I Am Your Mother, the Aardman short, I said that Box has way too fat an ass not to win the race. It's simple math,
This is
man.
a big engine.
It's simple math. Their thruster was the size of the ship. They were guaranteed
The
to
thruster
win.
was very big. So much thrust.
All of the fucking thrust. I want more Vision stuff. This is the shit I crave.
I could do with. I'd be fine if there's no more. Honestly,
What if it was great though?
because this season is more like why I don't care about, or why like the shorts don't thrill me. Like, because if you don't really go the extra, they don't leave an impression on me. And I don't think I'm going to think about these now that we've talked about them the way I thought about some of the ones from the first season.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Look, they don't have enough
Yeah.
fucking lightsabers. I'm gonna think about the lightsaber one.
I mean, that's not true for me because the
Yeah,
one I am
yeah.
gonna think about the most is the fucking didn't have had one lightsaber or whatever, the dancer one.
Did it have a lightsaber?
Yeah, that guy. I
Oh,
think he
his
had a
cane. No,
lightsaber.
he had a fake saber. He had like an
Sure.
electro thing that was a coward's lightsaber. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I like that one. I think that one, Sith and Screecher's Reach is like locked in the brain. But that's just an overwhelming bias for that studio. But I'm also I'm an optimist about shorts.
No, yeah, no, I was kind of disappointed in Screecher's Reach, but that's partially because I was extremely hopeful for that studio to come out with something that affected me more. Like, obviously, it's good.
Yeah. I mean, I want them to keep doing Visions type stuff in the hopes that it's. I mean, I recognize, like, it would be truly insane if they were able to do an entire thing of Visions where every single one was an unforgettable banger. Like, that's the unattainable dream.
That's
But,
that's
like,
unattainable.
But, what if we get another, I mean, for me, Village. What if there's something else that pops off as hard?
Mm-hmm.
And I just like that they.
But I don't want, like, if you have to go, like, another tier down of studios for the next season or whatever.
Yeah.
Find more obscure studios, animation studios that haven't done one yet or whatever.
Yeah. I'd prefer they. I don't even know. I don't even know what I'd prefer. Basically, it doesn't even have to be Visions. I just want shit that's not connected. I want shit that's not connected and where it's just, and in that way, like they can just have fun with it,
I don't know. Like, what if we had a Star Wars animated show that was good? That's what I felt.
What a piece of shit. I mean, you're not wrong.
That was, like, as good as one of these better ones, and
look,
didn't have the normal Star Wars theming to it. It was a little more ambitious. Wasn't shit CG.
I'll take Rebels, not even Clone Wars, because Clone Wars has the last chunk of episodes bias where it connects to episode 3.
But, like, imagine if The Village was like a whole series.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was gonna say I love Rebels. I think that show is overall pretty tight and doesn't have a shitload of bad, like, Clone Wars has their first 5 seasons where it's just meh at best. What if we just had, like, Studio Trigger doing a whole, like, a 26 episode thing? And they could just do whatever they want. And it was just elaborating on the twins or whatever. It just went fucking ham. Like, that would easily be the best Star Wars animated show. As someone who loves Rebels, or like, yeah.
But I mean, not even like the twins, because twins is like part of its whole appeal is it goes so extra. Even like one of the ones that
movie.
I feel that like you could just like the other trigger, like just one of the ones that feels more like a normal, like an episode of an anime or something, like just something that you could build on more better.
I mean, I
don't know.
I think the one that was the most like pilot episode of the bunch was again, forget the name, the bunny girl, the last one from volume 1.
I actually think the other trigger one was the most pilot-ish.
Which one was the other trigger one?
There's 2 Jedi and they like are hunting a Sith.
Right. The Elder.
Yeah, I think that one was the most pilot-ish.
Really?
That one the most felt to me like just this is an episode of a show that doesn't exist, I guess, from the first season.
Okay, I got you. I could see that. Because to me it didn't really. the other ones that felt like pilots felt like they were truly like setting up a show. I think I agree. That one feels more like an episode of a show. Not necessarily the first, but like it has that quality to it, certainly.
Yeah.
I got you.
Like I also feel like The Village Bride could be a show.
That one I could see, but I don't know if that guy would be able to go his ham on the music. Maybe. No, he's done other anime. He's done like 2 other. No, sorry, I've gotten that wrong. The studio has done 2 full anime. He has not, I don't think. But yeah, no, like that would be cool. Or like in the case of Cartoon Saloon, like I don't know that I'd want a show. I definitely would want like a feature length film. I think that'd be perfect for that.
Yeah, sure.
Or like
that's kind of where I feel like I'm at. Like I feel like conceptual wise, you've shown like you doing other stuff with Star Wars is cool, but like I want a little more depth out of the other stuff you're going to do with Star Wars. I don't. That's totally this fair. Like wide net for just doing other stuff is like not. Now, I that's not doing it for me anymore or whatever. Like it's not that interesting on its own. I want stuff that is a little more filled in.
I mean,
whatever.
When I was on my second go round of the Twins, I was like, God damn, I could go for like the Promare of Star Wars. Like, oh.
But I also feel like I'm coming from somewhere different just because now that I've watched Andor and gotten a TV show that was just well written and Star Wars, like my expectations are a little different than when I was going into Visions. I was just like, what if Star Wars was just good at all again? I was like, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, no, that's a totally different place than me.
Yeah, where just like I'm at a point where like instead of like being fine with Mandalorian, I'm like I don't need to watch the new season. I'm good at the moment.
Yeah,
it's also more about like what the new season looks like. Just like so much more.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni shit.
Yeah. I mean the when I was scrolling through some of the comments on the season of Visions, and someone was like, I really like what they're doing, like the concepts, I thought these were very solid, blah blah blah. They're like, I kind of wish we would get a Visions where it's just like it's like not about Jedi or the Force or whatever. It's just like the people, like the miners in the pit and blah blah blah. I'm like, we're on completely opposite wavelengths. This shit was too grounded. Where was all the shit? Why am I seeing all these kids getting taken away to become Force users? Show me them like fully grown, fighting. Yeah, it's not on that wavelength. But I get it.
Yeah, I just wish the writing were better.
Yeah.
I have no I'm not. Star Wars has to be this. I'm like, what if Star Wars was just a little better?
And I'm just a slut for lightsabers.
Yep.
Good. Oh, I didn't say it has to be good. Just show me the laser sword.
Gross.
Show me your sword.
Never again. That's it. No more.
Yeah, I thought it was overall solid though.
I feel like if you're just in it for the laser swords, it was extremely disappointing.
I'm not just fucking in it for the laser swords. Yes, on that front, it was fucking disappointing.
I just want to make that clear. Like,
yeah, no,
on the laser sword front, this was not a smash success either.
I led with that. I just watched Volume 1. They were all about the swords.
They were. It's true.
They really liked
and there was no plot setup that was anywhere near as cool as like the Ninth Jedi or whatever.
Yeah, no, not even remotely.
That's another
close.
one that like I want a whole show that's that.
Oh, that shit, that one was very good. Yeah, that shit was God. That was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And that was another good like. So we got. Let me see. I suppose we didn't. I'm mixing stuff in my head a little bit because we did get 2 episodes in this one in the season about kyber crystals, and
at the end.
and then I think that's getting a little bit muddled with some of the shit from Sith, the artist one, and Journey to Darkhead, where we get some of the like, oh, darkness with the light, like kind of a gray Jedi, like that take on what it means for the Force to be balanced and that sort of deal, and within yourself, like it definitely felt more like that was also kind of a thing that was focused on more like this idea of like the Force and how it works and your
I don't think any.
whatever.
I just didn't feel like any of these shorts were deep and like really getting into it beyond being generically positive messages.
I mean, yeah,
Like I just didn't
they
feel
were
like there
the-
was. There were again the theming felt so milk toast.
The theming was the animated equivalent of the final scene from Last Jedi, I think. Was it Force Awakens? Which is the one with the kid in the broom. That's Last Jedi, right?
That's yeah, that's the second of the trilogy.
Yeah, Last Jedi.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's like the animated
Yes.
equivalent of that scene where he grabs the
Yeah,
broom with
which
the
is like-
Force.
It's
and
like
he
the
looks
worst
to
part
the
of that
stars
movie.
with hope. Hey, it could have been worse. He could have had snot running down his nose.
It's that and like the way that whole series ended up. Going back to that movie, I really feel it with the wasting of John Boyega's character.
Yeah, that was a letdown.
That's the other
mean, like-
worst part of that movie, I would say.
And a waste of like Ben Solo. Like Adam Driver's character was also like Ray should have died, man.
I would
I
have
been
agree with that. I just think
I would have been more interested in his he got redeemed and then died.
Rise of Skywalker is fucking horrible on all fronts. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not even
Yeah.
talking about that movie.
Yeah.
Talking specifically about the parts of Last Jedi, I think that are the worst.
Gotcha.
I think that's worth talking about. Whereas Rise of Skywalker, I don't think is worth. There's so many things wrong with that movie. It's not worth even talking about.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, it's the movie that fucking nuked my Star Wars takes from orbit and completely reset my view on the series. Like, literally, there's a before that movie and after that movie in my Star Wars appreciation and how I'd feel about many other series. It bled over. That was a game changer for sure.
What bled over?
I got a lot more passionate about my takes about sequels, prequels, remakes, and reboots being absolute fucking horseshit.
Oh,
Which are
like,
kind
I
of
don't even agree with that. It's just like shit has to be good.
it bled over into it's not worth the risk of it being shit to do it. Like, yeah, it needs to be good, but will it be good? Probably fucking not. Look at this. Nothing's good anymore. I think the biggest one where it's affected, like, for example, like retroactively, I'm now like, I don't. For the longest time, I was pretty okay with Pirates of the Caribbean 2, 3, and 4. 5 wasn't out at the time. There was a 5th one, right? I think.
I don't fucking know.
I think there's a 5th one. That wasn't out at the time, so I'm not counting it. I don't care. But now I'm like, I just need the first one. The first one was good. I really like the first one. Everything else can get fucked. I mean, Highlander is a low-hanging fruit, but same thing. The thing that hasn't come out yet that it's probably impacted more is like Last Airbender, where I was like, yeah, I could see a little bit more. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the comics or Korra, but like that universe, that world, blah blah blah, and then completely nuked. I was on the fence at previously a little bit more, and now I'm just like, I don't care. Just leave shit be. Let shit rest.
Like, I feel like the fact that you already didn't care about the comics is kind of telling, honestly.
The comics they were too close. I didn't want to coming hot off of that show and then getting into like the dilemma of like colonialism over a long course of time. Like, oof. That was spicy. I don't know. Maybe when the shit comes out, I'll feel differently if like people are really loving it. But yeah, like look at all the Star Wars garbage we had to wade through to get to the good shit. It's a lot of garbage. Like any of the good shit, you know.
I don't know. Most Star Wars I just didn't care about.
Yeah, see, I wanted to care about it.
Most of those books.
Yeah, the problem was I wanted to. I was just very on that train. Like Rise of Skywalker.
We were also very on a specific train of post Disney reset everything.
But I was cool with it. Like I was coming off of Last Jedi. And the comics we'd been reading, the couple of books I'd read, the Clone Wars, Rebels, like the shows that I had finished later than other people, but finished. Like, I was fucking ready, man. I was into it. I was like, like Last Jedi as a film I didn't like entirely, but some of the concepts it brought up for the universe and all that shit, like, I'm fine with this. I was completely ready. I was on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just, the more, what the saying is, the more hype they are, the harder they fall.
Sure.
Yeah. But, don't get me wrong. I feel like that got real negative. Like, it's fine. I'm fine. It's still okay. There's still good things.
Andor's still the best modern Star Wars thing.
Whatever. Was there even any lightsaber
Shrug
in
emoji.
it?
Lightsaber?
Was it even a single one? Like
No.
a little hint? No? That was a legitimate question. I actually didn't know if they did like a Rogue One thing or a Solo thing or whatever.
No.
Okay.
There's one thing that I would say is lightsaber adjacent. That fucking rules. But is not strictly speaking a lightsaber.
The dark saber?
Nope.
Is it a vibroblade?
It's a spaceship weapon.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
It fucking rules.
Nice.
I don't know what the fuck it actually is.
Yeah. I guess, man, I'm trying. I'd like to rephrase a take. I don't think that it it's necessarily like it has no lightsabers. I'm just also very sick of this era. I'm just not a. We need to either go farther out laterally where it's not like shit building up against like the Empire or the First Order, or we need to go. Like it could be a rebel group, but I don't care if it's like building up to.
I mean, I agree with you in the sense of like I do think like letting when these studios getting to be creative is like key to why this shit's cool. But I think the primary thing that matters is if it's good or not. And honestly, everything else is secondary to me. As long as it's like allows the creators to like do stuff that they think is cool.
Yeah.
Whatever, and that works. I think that's more important. Like any specifics about that stuff I think is secondary.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
To if shit's good. And I just think Andor was the best executed on thing. So
yeah. And it's not even
like I don't think that shows a good idea in terms of like making a prequel about a character from Rogue One. Like that's not a good idea. I wouldn't say I was ever excited about that as a concept. It's just it was very well done.
Yeah.
It's much better written than that movie. And I think that movie script is pretty fucking bad.
I don't even remember the movie script. I just remember what was the blind dude's mantra? I'm one with the Force and the Force is one with me. I think something. That gave me vibes from a fucking clearly like marketable, baitable quote from God's Not Dead. Like it reminded me too much of that, and I was like, "This is dumb." Like that's a dumb quote. As far as writing things go,
I didn't like how that mantra or how he delivered it even.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah.
What I liked about that movie were when the toys smashed up against each other. It felt like toys smashing up against each other in a way that like deeply spoke to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Star Wars.
It exists. It's Star Wars. It exists. Some of it's good. Some of it's not. Some of it's good to some people and not to others.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Don't get me wrong. I like that there's a thing that I love that people love Andor. To be clear. Like, is not for me. But there are other things that are for me, and that's fine. That is the one benefit of like not stopping and just fucking putting out a ton of shit. Like eventually something's gonna hit the mark. Maybe it'll be Ahsoka. I'm hoping it's Ahsoka. Yeah.
I just wish you could open your heart to give Andor a shot. Honestly. The fact you've closed your heart entirely from it, I find kind of annoying.
But. This guy, you've closed your heart to so many things.
Yeah, but this is Star Wars, and it's good.
Whatever.
What have I closed my heart to that's good?
Objectively? Oh. I don't have anything objectively in the moment, but I'm on the spot. The only thing I could think of is a subjective one, and it's not even. I can't even cast stones because I did the same shit. The only thing that was coming to mind was when you hard tapped out a Log Horizon, because that dude was talking about like Pensu or whatever. Yeah, you just you like nuked out of that episode, but I did the exact same thing with Monogatari, so I can't even talk.
I feel like I tapped out of Log Horizon because
I remember you talking about the dude who kept talking about like panties or whatever, or like women or something.
But that wasn't what made me tap out.
That's not what made
What
you
made me tap out was when she transformed or something.
Oh,
She,
into like
reveals herself.
yeah.
Yeah, like the way the show handled that was what made me completely tap out. That fancy the thing, him talking about it was just like an extra complaint that was annoying me. That wasn't like I had to instantly tap out. It's because of like the horniness of a girl transformer or something. I think I like barely remember.
Yeah. Oh. That's the only thing that came to mind for, and that's not objective, and I recognize that. Yeah, I don't think anything objectively. You've like if you bounced off of Beowulf, we would have had problems. there would have been
But I
argument,
didn't. Beowulf rules.
But you didn't. Yeah. I don't know. There's so many other things to watch and read and do.
It's true.
And it's just so long, like it's a lot of minutes.
Not that long.
It's really long, man.
It's not long at all.
It's like they're like 40-minute episodes?
40 to an hour, yeah.
40 to an hour? I don't got that kind
38.
of time. 38. Oh. What, you think time grows on trees? You just go out and pluck time from the branches?
Yeah, as long as Goku's on the tree.
I mean, maybe someday.
Yeah, I just like you would watch
help.
one episode and then bail.
It would
If you
help.
watched one episode and then bailed, I would feel different about it. I wouldn't bring it up. I'd say fine. You didn't like it.
Yeah.
Although you kind of don't get a good picture of what the show's like until you've watched at least three.
Fucking naturally. Fucking naturally.
But even, well, it's like it's structured like kind of like Spectacular Spider-Man in that like every 3 episodes is kind of constructed as like a singular,
You're not gonna
like a bigger story.
You're not gonna trick me. You're not gonna trick me by comparing it to Spectacular Spider-Man. I know your ways.
It had a similar structure in that, like,
I'm gonna name drop things Ben likes. Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Yeah,
maybe someday.
So they did it because like when they were trying to market it, I just thought it was really stupid. They just showed the first 2 episodes. When like the payoff was that it's of all the story threads is like in episode 3. And people were like, it's too slow. Like, why did you only show first 2? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. People don't have to like the things that I think are good. But I think that show's good.
Yeah. I'm not like opposed to ever doing it. Just other things taking my brain space right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like kids being terrible. Clearly more important.
I didn't know it was about kids being terrible. I went into this blind. Or like I knew fucking immediately what it was.
You didn't even know that was his name, right? Until the other day, right?
Yeah. But like, what else was it gonna fucking be? It was either his name or a planet. Like, what the hell else was it gonna be? Nothing. I knew there were no lightsabers. I knew it was like loosely connected to rebelish stuff or something on the ground, or like, no, not even that. Not even rebelish stuff, but like, those threads weren't laid in super early, were they? Like episode 1, 2.
No, he's just like a scoundrel.
Right.
He's a Han Solo-esque.
Right.
Like dude who is in trouble.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, like what it's like living under the Empire and that sort of thing. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we need like another show along with Andor so we can get another perspective from this like 19-year period. That's so cool. I need all the angles from these 2 decades. The 2 most important decades in the history of a...
Yeah, but see, Andor is the good one.
Thousands. Even if they made more good ones, though, I just don't like... Bleh. You need to be something... Give me Dr. Aphra.
Man,
But
I would love a Dr. Aphra show.
But with, like...
Except, and then I would be annoyed that it's not good enough, but... In theory.
Oh, but what if it was, though?
That character is so fucking good. Ugh.
I need to go through those comics again. Because I think all of that shit has come to complete... I think they finished her shit up. There's like 2 series or whatever.
Well, okay. Well, I think we read everything with the original writer.
Yeah. We read everything that the original writer did. And then I think that run had a little bit more, and then there was like a second one. I don't think it's ongoing. Maybe it is. I don't know. They were getting some pretty good shit though. There was a love interest. The one that you would want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just less confident it would be as good without Karen Gillan writing it, frankly.
Read it and find out. If I read it and it's good, I'll trade you Dr. Aphra for Andor.
Sure. Easy. Easy deal.
If it's shit, though, deal's off.
Oh, God damn it. All right. Salt Circle Podcast, gmail.com. Salt Circle Pod on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
These trade negotiations are so short.
Peace.
Peace.